Good evening, everyone. My name is LauraKeough, for those of you that don't know me, and I've been an SOS member since 2022, so rather recent. So through SOS, I have met wonderful people who share my passion of sailing. It's been great. I've explored new places on the Chesapeake and overseas in sailboats. I've sailed a wide variety of conditions and improved my sailing skills. And, you know, the biggest thing is I've developed friendships. I now have people that I consider family in this club. For being such a short time, it's just been a wonderful experience. So maybe not everyone knows this, but over the last 2 years, I've been cruising co-chair with Dana Stoffergen. And, you know, one of the biggest lessons that I've learned is, so thank you. I actually loved it, but I'm happy that it'll be handed off to somebody else because, you know, after 2 years, it's time to take a little mental break from that. But I loved getting things together and doing all the planning. So one of the biggest lessons I've learned as a cruising co-chair, one, I got to see how this club works. And I'm just so impressed with it works, it succeeds because of its volunteers. And there's a lot of volunteers. So for those of you that go out on the sails and don't really know, there are so many members behind you that have worked behind the scenes to put together the cruising calendar and also to coordinate. There's coordinators, event planners, there's, you know, a lot of people behind the scenes, the raft captains. There's just so many people that volunteer to make this a wonderful experience, a sailing experience. So, you know, this club thrives because people generously give their time and talents. So, you know, as my cruising co-chair tenure comes to an end, I really want to continue giving back to this club that is giving me so much. And so, hence, I am going down the railroad track with Peter, you know, and accepted the nomination to run for the board. So a little bit about my sailing experience. My love of sailing started when I was 18, and sort of, despite never having sailed before, actually never having ever been on a boat, I went out and I bought a Sunfish sailboat, brand new Sunfish sailboat. Yeah, right. And then I didn't know anyone who sailed, so I got books and stuff, and I taught myself to sail. So a few years later, I added windsurfing to the mix, but like, you know, being in my young 20s and stuff, that was like a really excellent experience. So after taking time away to raise children, I gradually returned to the water, moving up to larger boats. I got a McGregor 22-foot trailer sailboat that I had like from 2008 to 2021. Then I bought Satori, my 33-foot Beneteau that I have today. And it's been, so I've also earned my ASA certifications and everything. So I've come a long way from teaching myself on the Sunfish. So for me, sailing has been much more of a hobby. It's become a lifelong journey of learning, adventure, and because of this club, an opportunity to have a community that shares the same thing. So a little bit about my work experience. So before retiring 3 years ago, I spent my career as a chemical engineer, eventually becoming a business director responsible for global business strategy, financial performance, and leadership of an international team. That role included 7 years being located in Japan. I lived in Tokyo for 7 years up till 2021. So a wide variety of experiences, different cultures, different people's opinions. So, you know, while a volunteer organization is very different than the corporate world, I believe there are some transferable experiences that will be helpful to SOS. You know, the skills of listening, appreciating different views, collaborating, building consensus, making decisions. They're all going to be equally valuable in SOS. So if elected, I will also bring my experience as a skipper in SOS, a participant in 2 SOS bareboat cruises so far, and cruising co-chair of understanding how the club works. and where I've worked closely with skippers and members and volunteers. So I'm going to address Laura's question maybe as wrapping up here, and also Catherine Fox's point. Yes, we need to grow skippers, the number of active skippers, as we're growing the club. We can't just grow crew, we need to also grow active skippers. So what do we need to do to support so that we have more skippers active and also continue to grow? And as we're all aging through this experience, how do we bring in younger? I think that's something the board needs to address. And so considering how do we accomplish that? So my goal in joining the board would be to make sure that our club remains vibrant and welcoming, so that 5 or 10 years from now, new members will discover the same joy and experiences that we are enjoying in the club right now, and the friendships, the sailing experience. So, I believe a strong club is, and I think you also mentioned it, Peter, that, it's a volunteer organization, and it's supporting the volunteers and encouraging new members to volunteer and making the volunteering fun, so we enjoy doing it as opposed to like, oh, this is work, I've got to do this and I have to do that. So far, it's been really fun being a volunteer. We'll see, if I'm elected on the board, what that experience is like, but, so encouraging new members to be involved, continue with financial stewardship, which is really important for our club to continue growing, and keeping the welcoming and friendly spirit that has always defined SOS. So in terms of, what Laura was asking, I would like to understand how can we grow the club without opening it up to married skippers or whatever. So, well, okay, so yeah, 3 people clap for that. But anyway, and to understand, like, what are the other things we can do? And the reason is because I came into this club single. I had a boat. I knew no one who said my 33-foot Beneteau. I didn't really know anyone who sailed, so I didn't really have crew, and I didn't have any friends that sailed. So I came into the club. I feel really comfortable being a single woman in this club because we're focused on singles, and it's just really, it's been really nice for me. So anyway, so I would be honored to earn your vote and would love the opportunity to continue serving this wonderful club. Thank you.